So, Officer Tatum, I have always been critical of these criminal justice reform bills, laws, referendums, because I think it actually undermines what real criminal justice advocates want to do, because it puts it all into the same basket with horrible results. I didn't like the First Step Act. I know a lot of conservatives did. Of course, Donald Trump was a big advocate of the First Step Act. I was concerned that people were going to be swept up in that probably should be behind bars. But I have to wonder, what does these cashless bail and all this, what does this do to actual criminal justice reform? Because most Americans would say, hey, listen, somebody that's caught with a little bit of weed or this, that, and the other, they shouldn't be put behind bars for a lengthy amount of time. We can usually all agree on that. But it's all being put in the same basket. The lines are being blurred. Is there a place for true criminal justice reform, and what does that look like to you?
Well, first you have to start with the victims, right? We should be caring about the victims more than the criminals. You know, they like to tout, oh, we should let these people out of prison. They've been redeemed. But what about the victims? These people have been traumatizing people for the last decade, and nothing has been done. That's why we have accountability in the criminal justice system. But I'm for we call the First Step Act. I advocated for it because I felt that if you have a person who's done their time in prison for drug offenses and they have finished or completed the recidivism reduction training, and they have shown good behavior, and the victims of their crimes can advocate that they've forgiven them and they should be let out. All of those things can be a part of what we call reconciliation. I'm okay with that. But that does not include rapists. That does not include somebody who's violently committed a crime, somebody who's pulled a gun on somebody, robbed them at gunpoint, shot somebody, murdered somebody. You have to be held accountable for those things. The problem is that we could get to a solution, because as a community, we could come together and say, let's start evaluating, why are people in prison for 20 years for selling drugs? We can evaluate that person's criminal record. We can see if that person is ready to be reintroduced into society. We can evaluate those things. But to just give a blanket reform based on the color of somebody's skin, because mind you, Tommy, they're not talking about white people in prison. I don't see a single stat to say that we need to reduce white people in prison. They're going off of color. They're going off of virtue signaling. And I think that's our biggest problem.